Yeah, so a lot of clients have been asking about the trade tariffs. It seems every day tariff talks are going well, the market jumps up. Oops, the tariff talks are going poorly, the market goes down. We're going to take the tariffs off, we're going to put the tariffs on, back and forth. And it's really causing a lot of volatility. And so clients are asking, what's the deal with this? Is it important? And I think it is important. There has already been a trade war for 25 years. And as far as I'm concerned, the U.S. has probably lost it at this point.
Yeah.
And an interesting thing is when you see Tom Friedman from the New York Times ever agreeing with anything that President Trump says, that is a time that makes you look up and take note. And what they agree on pretty much, they disagree on pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
But on this, they do think the China issue is a problem and something has to be done.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is we're running a pretty bad deficit with China. I think we import something to the tune of 540 billion of Chinese goods, but the Chinese only buy about 120 billion of ours. And we're doing it with borrowed money. We're financing that imbalance one way or another with borrowed money.
Of which some of it we're borrowing from them, by the way.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I used to say we borrow money from the Chinese because we don't have enough, and we would go and buy oil from OPEC and then burn it and then repeat. So luckily we're not doing that as much anymore because we're energy independent finally. But now we're borrowing money from the Chinese to some degree to buy disposable items for the most part that we use up, and we still owe them the money for it. So something has to be done. And when you look, like I say, they've won the war so far, because what's happened is they had tariffs already on our automobiles for 25%, and we had a 5% tariff on theirs. So there was a problem to begin with. And one of the main problems is that whenever a U.S. company wants to go in and do business in China, they have to find a partner, a local partner, and they have to share their technology and know-how. So the Chinese are getting a lot of technology and know-how. They take that in. We say, why do we do this? Well, why does the U.S. do it? Well, the carrot is 1.3 billion Chinese customers, and the carrot's always dangled in front, but it seems like it never comes to fruition because the Chinese, for one way or another, dissuade a lot of purchasing of our goods. At the same time, they're sharing our technology. Yeah. And then furthermore, when they're not sharing it, they're taking it.
They're stealing it.
They're stealing it. So something has to be done there. And why does the market care about this? The market is so short-sighted sometimes. The market doesn't want any disruption. It says, look, this has been going on a long time. The stock market's been going up for 10 years. Don't mess anything up. Don't poke the bear. Or the panda, I guess, in this case. So don't disrupt that. So that's one problem the market has. The second one is that China's got a problem in the sense that they can't feed themselves or fuel themselves anymore. Their energy must be, I think it's like 70% of their energy consumption has to be imported in. And their food, I guess, they just went to a net importer of rice, of all things. So that's kind of scary for them. And they can't afford an economic slowdown to any degree, because an unrestful population there is their biggest fear, politically. So you're putting all these things together, and the market doesn't like it. So, what do we do about something like that is the question.
And I think you're right. The market on a short-term basis is very focused on the headlines, but everything that I've read about when you remove the news services, so to speak, from the discussion,
Right.
and look at what the economists are saying and what the analysts are saying about the trade deficit, it's very clear we have to take a stance.
Yeah.
It's something we have to fix.
Yeah.
If we don't, it's going to lead to significantly bigger problems. And by the way, they're also saying we're in a better position to take the stance today
Correct.
than we will be 5 or 10 years from now. And China is in less of a position.
Yes.
They actually need the trade war to end
Yeah.
more than we need the trade
That's
war
exactly
to end.
right. Their debt situation is
yeah.
not looking
Yeah.
great. Their stock market is down more than 50% in the
That's
last 4 years.
That's right.
Come this summer.
Yeah, and they've taken on astronomical amounts of debt
Yeah.
to build out their infrastructure.
Yeah, the Silk Road initiative that they're doing is huge. It's a massive build out of a literal highway from China through the stands, up through Russia, through Europe, ending in I think Rotterdam or something. And that's not just a road. They're talking about ports, African ports, ports in India, all through the trade routes, Southern Asia. So they're going to spend a ton of money if they don't go bankrupt first.
Yeah.
And that could put a lot of pressure on commodities prices to go up, which we could use as an investment theme.
Yeah.
Eventually, if it works, there'll be a big supply of natural resources, and that might reverse the whole thing.
Yeah.
But those are all things that investors should be thinking about. And also any companies that we own that have business in China, you have to take that with a grain of salt. It might not be so easy going forward.
Yeah.
The main scary thing for me, however, is their push into artificial intelligence and quantum computing and 5G. And you see a lot of this on the news with
That's right.
Huawei.
Huawei, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if they leapfrog us in that, especially quantum computing, there's implications for cyber hacking. They would be able to hack a lot easier, and we would not be able to unencrypt what they do.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things going on there that investors need to watch out for.
Yeah. So the point of that is it's important to pay attention to China.
Yeah.
And the political fight we're having with them right now is probably a very important political fight.
True. And we
having
can't
it sooner,
get out of it.
having it sooner rather than later is probably better for. While it may be painful short term,
Yes.
it's better for us long term. So,
Very true.